On the surface, Zelda Breath of the Wild is not a game I should enjoy. For reference, some of my favorite games are Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, and the OG Harvest Moon/slash Story Season games. Games that require me to battle enemies, swing around a giant sword, and channel my inner warrior are never on my radar. So, why then is this fighty game one of my absolute favorite Switch games ever? I've been mulling this over in my little noggin because this isn't a phenomenon unique to me. Many cozy gamers have also fallen in love with Zelda Breath of the Wild. Those cozy gamers who, like myself, typically do not have any desire to pick up arms and defeat evil. There are certainly a few different reasons on why self described cozy gamers still love this game, including us allowing us to run away from enemies, that there are minimal repercussions when our hearts are gone and it's game over, and so on. But looking back on this gaming experience after spending over 150 hours in this game, completing the main quest line, the cozy gamer love of Breath of the Wild seems to come down to one thing: the art of noticing. What is the art of noticing? The art of noticing is really just taking the time to observe all the small, wonderful details in something. This can be everything from watching how the flowers sway in the winds, the reflection of light on water, to the sizzle of food while cooking. The art of noticing is based in reflection and mindfulness, something that I would not consider to be the basis of an action adventure game. And this is what I think makes Breath of the Wild so magical. It's the combination of the open world and the questing system to allow players to really adapt the game to their liking. This ability to adjust gameplays allows me to make Breath of the Wild a cozy game, while others can continue to swing their big swords and charge into battle to their heart's content. Instead of charging forward with action, we can take our time and admire the flowers in Breath of the Wild. We can watch birds fly around, we can observe, and usually, if you're me, startle wildlife. The details of this game really make it come alive. From watching clouds move across the screen to how the weather changes, there are so many lovely details to notice. It's so relaxing to be galloping. Gosh, why is talking so hard? It's so relaxing to be galloping along with your noble steed, admiring the surroundings, and seeing what new things there are to collect. There is nothing more rejuvenating than wandering around a beautiful landscape and feeling so accomplished by finding a Korok seed. Seriously, these little guys are so cute and they give so much serotonin every time I find one. It is often these little details that really draw me into the game. I really enjoyed seeing the color variations in both the dogs and horses. I loved giving them treats, and the little details that happen when you give them one is just lovely. Being able to have multiple horses, name them, and customize them was one of my favorite features, and I had so much fun time taming wild horses. It was so nice to come across a little herd of horses roaming around and then seeing if there's any color variations I hadn't come across yet, and deciding whether or not I should add a new steed to my lineup. This is the area where Breath of the Wild really excels, is in the details. It is the details that really bring the entire game to life and encourage continued exploration. For example, in the villages, each one has its own distinct style, from building shapes to the signs, to even the clothing and items available to the villagers to the side quests. I love seeing the care that was implemented during the overall design process. Each NPC has their own name and dialogue, and chit chatting to each one of these characters is such a relaxing way to play the game. I love learning tips and tricks, discovering more about the lore, and coming across new side quests to run off and do, and learn some cooking tips as well. And speaking of cooking, how is it not a cozy game if you're able to cook? Sometimes I would throw things together and see what happens. Sometimes I would actually listen to those NPCs since they clearly knew way more than me. I love how Link hums a little tune while he patiently waits for his meal to cook. Then, when that recipe is successful, there is such a cheerful little tune that plays to show you've done well. If I were to guess, I would say about 50% of my time in Breath of the Wild was spent solely admiring the landscape in some form or fashion. There were so many unique areas where you could admire different fauna, flora, insect, crustaceans, fish, and amphibians. There are multiple distinct ecosystems which seamlessly blend with one another. In this game, it's entirely possible to navigate the landscape without using a map or minimap at all, simply by using notable landmarks, signs, and directions from those NPCs. You could get around the entire world. And to be clear, I 100% used a map to help me navigate both the minimap and overall map. I was not adept at navigating in video games, but I really do appreciate that this game is designed in a way that you could make a mapless run. This just barely scratches the surface of the art of noticing in Breath of the Wild. These were the most impactful ones for me and were directly related to my own personal enjoyment of the game. And since I missed so many details, I would love to hear about your favorite game details in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you feel like wandering over to this little corner of the internet again, please consider describing. Or not, you can do what you want in life.